I have talked to you before about indexing the weapon where it's in line with your sight. I've talked about magazine reloads, and now I'm going to be talking about saddling. It almost comes in steps 1, 2, 3. You got to index the weapon, put the magazine in, and then you got to load the gun. Well, that's the part we're talking about now. So with me here, I have my faithful little 45 Taurus 1911. First thing we do is check to make sure it's not loaded. Magazine is out. Pull the slide to the rear. Chamber is clear. Mag well is clear. This gun is clear. Now, when it comes to saddling the gun, what that means is, well, first let me explain. Some people, when the slide is locked to the rear of an automatic pistol, they'll have the gun in their shooting hands, and they'll want to get their fingertips of their offhand and grab the rear part of the slide and try to pull it and let it go. The only problem is, that's good for when you're in the range shooting at a piece of paper and there's nobody trying to hurt you. But if you're in a duress situation and your adrenaline's pumping, what happens to those 5 fingers, they end up becoming 2 or 3 fingers. And you trying to grab this small piece of metal to pull it back to let the slide go forward, it's going to be pretty difficult. So the term saddling the slide comes into effect because it puts more meat on the slide of the gun, helping you to pull the slide to the rear and releasing it. By releasing it, it loads the weapon. So I'm going to demonstrate on video what I'm talking about. Saddling the slide. I've got the weapon in my shooting hand. I'm indexed because it's in my line of sight. I'm inserting the magazine, and as my hand slams the magazine home, my hand comes up and over the top of the slide. The palm of my hand, the lower part of the palm of my hand is on one side. I fold my hand over the top, and all 4 of my fingertips are grabbing the other side. I'm pushing the gun with my shooting hand and pulling the slide with my non, and I'm letting the slide forward. That is aggressively activating the gun into the ready mode by chambering around, by pulling the slide to the rear, releasing it. It puts a round in the chamber, and the gun is ready to fire all the while it's in your line of sight, so when necessary, I can take the shot. I never want to get the gun out of my line of sight. If I get it out of my line of sight, then I have to get it back in my line of sight, and that wastes time. So if we recap all 3 things that I had mentioned before, I'm indexing the weapon, I'm slapping the mag home, I'm putting my hand up and over the top, pulling the slide while I'm pushing the lower part of the gun, letting it go. And here's one other note about loading the weapon. Please, ladies and gentlemen, don't ever grab the slide, pull it to the rear so that the slide stop releases it, and then slowly walk it forward. Slowly walking it forward is going to mess it up. Cartridge is going to pop out of place. It's not going to line up right, and you can very, very easily get a malfunction. What you want to do is grab the slide, compress that sling about 1/8 of an inch more because you can. It gives you more energy to release and let the round go into battery. Okay, so that's saddling the slide. Those are the types of things we teach in our seminars. Again, go to aaronsgunshop.com, go to the High Cap Adventures page, check out the seminars that we have to offer. If you have a group of 5 or more, we'll set up a class specifically for you. Give me an email at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com, or just go to the website directly and scout through it.